Welcome back, everyone, here to the Bronx Talk Show. Today is April 21st, episode 14, and the Yankees are coming off of a series win at home against the Tampa Bay Rays. Going to be talking about that whole series, going to be talking about the Yankees on the road and what they did in Toronto. But, Christian, first off, how are you doing today?
I'm doing great. An interesting week of Yankees baseball. I'm kind of excited because I feel like we have a lot to talk about, but also not to the point where it was like a disaster, right? And we still went
Yeah.
500 on the week, but there are conversations. John Sterling announced his retirement. That was pretty big news. Thankfully, nothing health related. The
Yeah.
guy's like 85. I mean, it makes sense. He's not going to announce until death. So he retires. He has a nice ceremony Saturday. Other news, Nick Birdy goes on a 15-day IL with right hip inflammation, and Cody Morris was called up to replace him. And DJ should also be coming back soon. I don't know. The DJ stuff's kind of weird, Ryan. It's almost like the Yankees just don't want to make the decision yet with Oswaldo Cabrera, because DJ is, he said, I think it was Friday, that he feels ready to go and he wants to get back out there. And then Boone said, we want to make sure he's in a good spot. We want to take it slow. I really almost get the vibe that the Yankees, look, I get they're just not purposely sidelining him, but I think it could be a mix of like, when DJ comes back, we kind of have a tough decision to make. I mean, Oswaldo's not becoming a bench player. So I don't know. It's kind of weird there, but how are you doing? How's your week?
It was good. I was at the game on Saturday. Unfortunately, it was the game they lost at home. The John Sterling stuff was really cool on the field. Game was pretty boring. I mean, 9 innings, no runs. But no, it was fun. And I think the John Sterling stuff was great. There were some people talking about, like, the Yankees, like, gifts weren't good. Like, an 83-inch TV is pretty good. Like, I know it's not like over $1,000 or anything like crazy. Like, if you really want a TV, I think it's affordable. I think TVs are pretty affordable, but I mean, the guy's going to be going into retirement, right? He's going to be watching the Yankee games. He called like every single game. I'm sure he's going to watch, every Yankee game that he can. So why not gift him with a really nice TV? I thought what they did for him was really, really good. And, there's some talk about the jersey, but I thought the whole ceremony and everything like that was cool. And then on the video board, they had guys like Paul O'Neill, Derek Jeter, Bernie Williams, Tino Martinez came out on the field. So that stuff was really, really cool to see.
The video was really special. Like,
yes.
that was because I like making those kinds of videos. And I was thinking about doing one for John Sterling, but didn't have time and stuff. Wouldn't have been able to do anything close to that. And then also, I don't know if you saw this, but apparently it wasn't planned for the whole Yankees team to come out. Did the Yankees give him the TV? That was the gift. I think so. I'm pretty sure.
It was something
but
like
apparently,
that. Boone and Glaber came out and gave him the TV, and then all the Yanks came onto the field.
Which wasn't planned, apparently. It wasn't supposed to be the whole team can't come on. So
yeah, guy like Taylor Trammell just got picked up. Boom! John Sterling ceremony, buddy. And he's out there on the field. That game was interesting. No Stanton on Saturday, and Jahmai Jones made his first Yankees start. We can touch on that game. That game was certainly interesting. Wasn't happy with the result, but the Christian Yankees, they did take the series against Tampa, and you look at their 2 wins, and they're pretty electric. I mean, Friday, people are still talking about that Yankees win on Friday. Juan Soto with the big 3-run homer, and Christian, I was watching this game on TV, and it was like a playoff atmosphere. The fans were going crazy. I've seen clips on social media of fans in the bleachers just throwing beer everywhere and going absolutely nuts. It was a playoff environment. And then after that inning, Juan Soto comes back on the field to play right field. And, he's tapping his glove and the fans are going crazy. Christian, today is Sunday, and people are still talking about that win that the Yankees pulled off on Friday night, because this is like a postseason preview, potentially. Juan Soto hitting a big electric home run when the game's on the line, and just the emotion, slams the bat down, right? Aaron Judge is like, let's go. Soto's pounding his chest. I mean, that was unreal. I mean, that was phenomenal to see. And it gets you really, really excited as a Yankees fan, because, this was crazy. This was a game in April. Soto hits a big home run. Yankees hold on and win. Imagine if something like that happens in October, because the fans have become attached to Juan Soto. I mean, he's really like a god to us Yankee fans, and all the Yankee fans admire him. And to have this much success on, such a big stage, it's so nice and it's so rewarding to see as a fan.
Yeah, no, I mean, I think we've said this before. We're gonna have a Juan Soto conversation every week until the end of the year, and this will be it right here. He's awesome. I think he even went like 4 for 4 in that game too, or that
Yeah,
could be a different game
yeah.
I'm thinking of.
I don't know.
But
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, he's an amazing player, and it really, I think his WAR is like 2 maybe right now, but if he wasn't a Yankee, I'd be interested to see what their record is this year, because he has put the Yankees on his back so many times so far this year. And yeah, I mean, I really think if he wasn't in the lineup every day, season could have very well started off kind of similar to last year. I mean, because the Yankees have won a lot of close games, right? And
Yeah.
Juan Soto's played a big part in a lot of those. So, I mean, yeah, he's been awesome. Volpe did have a hit in that, which would have been a big hit. I mean, that was the go-ahead single to
Yeah.
make it 2-1. I think we'll probably touch on him later, because that was really all he did this week. And I think I know who my Ray for the year is. The guy, Richie Palacio. I don't know how you say his last name.
Yeah,
I don't know. I think he grew up in the Bronx, but
yeah.
he is just like a pest. He is so
Yeah.
good, and I don't know. I feel like every time he came up this series, he was gonna do something, and he did.
Yeah, no, he was interesting, and I was at the game Saturday, and he was definitely like playing with the fans a lot, and toying with them and stuff like that, and he's a nice guy. He's throwing balls up into the crowd and stuff like that, and it's always weird, because they're like grew up in the Bronx. They should be playing for the Yankees, and then usually at some point these guys always sort of find their way in a Yankee uniform. I mean, we look in recent memory. Andrew Velasquez grew up in the Bronx. I think he's playing for Atlanta now. And Harrison Bader grew up in Bronxville, not the Bronx, but New York kid. Ends up playing for the Yankees, and wanted to stay in New York, so he just hopped across town over to Queens, and he's playing for the Mets, and he's actually doing pretty solid over there. But yeah, those guys seem to find their way in a Yankee uniform. But yeah, he was definitely a pest. But I'm glad the Yankees were able to hold on, take this series. You don't want to lose back-to-back series, especially against a division opponent at home in Tampa Bay. You don't want to lose ground, right? And the Yankees went out today sort of sluggish with the offense, right? We're able to score early with Rizzo, had that RBI single. But then you're like, here we go, Luis hit with the ball, tie game. And Christian, I'm thinking there, I'm like, man, the Yankees offense just can't get it going. But then boom, they have one of those big innings, which they seem to do a lot this year. And they seem to do a lot the last couple series. We go to the final game in Toronto. They're able to come back with that big inning there. They had that big inning against Tampa the other night, I think, in the 7th inning. And then today they're able to come through, and having those big innings and stringing together hits. I mean, 3 straight pitches, 3 straight hits. Alex Verdugo's out there with the yellow Jordan cleats. I mean, looking fire, looking clean. And, they were just able to come up big. And Oswaldo Cabrera has really helped the Yankees out and has been a star this year on their team. So, that's really nice to see. But, the Yankees are coming through. Jose Trevino is starting to heat up, which is a really, really good sign. And they're having those big innings. And we didn't see that at all last year because they just weren't good enough to string together, consistent hits or get runners on base. And I think it's just because their lineup was not deep. I mean, when you had guys like Willie Calhoun and Billy McKinney and, Jake Bowers who would go on some hot stretches, but the Yankees lineup just wasn't deep enough. But now you're seeing pitchers starting to struggle and falter. And, the amount of world-class hitters the Yankees have in their lineup being able to get the job done. And I think the Yankees lineup overall, Christian, is in a good spot. But sitting here right now, I wouldn't say it's perfect. I wouldn't say it's firing on all cylinders. But I'd say it's in a good spot. And that's because the Yankees have a lot of depth and they have a lot of good quality hitters in that lineup.
Yeah, I mean, the big innings were nice. Trevino does seem like he's gotten it together a little bit. He had a big hit in the final game against Toronto, which tied it up. And then today, keeping the rally going. And, I mean, that's really all we need Trevino's not going to be, one of our better hitters. He's probably going to be in an ideal world. I mean, Trevino's our worst hitter in the lineup, but if he can just occasionally get hits, that's really all we can ask for. And I mean, today was awesome. I mean, 3 straight singles, 3 straight pitches, taking advantage of a Rays pitcher who looked pretty solid. I mean, throughout the game, clearly the wheels came off. I mean, walked 3 straight batters.
Yep.
But Rays bullpen's terrible. So Cash leaves him in, and Yankees take advantage with 3 straight hits. So that was awesome. One thing I didn't like, I know we talked about this over text, Caleb Ferguson. I didn't like that bringing him in the 10th in game 2. Haven't liked what I've saw from him this year at all.
Yeah.
Lefty, his stuff hasn't impressed me at all. And, I get you're in the 10th inning, but look, Nestor gave you 7 quality innings. It wasn't like your bullpen was burned. You could have given Holmes another inning or gone to another guy. Didn't really make sense. And then, Rays get 2, and that kind of kills it. So it's one move. We're kind of nitpicking, but I didn't like it.
Yeah, I mean, but I feel like we see this a lot with Boone, where it's always that obvious move where you're like, this is not going to work out, and it usually doesn't. Usually when it's just the common sense. I mean, you just can't bring in a guy like Caleb Ferguson there, and we've seen these moves before where they're just not defendable. I know Yankees Twitter, what you want to say a lot. I mean, I get it. There's tons of fans just ranting nonsense. But, I mean, can you find me one person who thought it was a logical idea to bring Caleb Ferguson into the game yesterday? Can you, find me one guy who says, yeah, that's the right move? It's just not. I mean, the guy had been struggling, and he got lit up in Cleveland, almost a week ago. The Yankees had a 2-run lead in extra innings. He completely got lit up. And, Christian, I'm sitting there. And, it's the bottom of the 9th inning. And I look into the bullpen. I see Caleb Ferguson up. I said to my girlfriend next to me, I said, we got to score right here or this game's over. And I texted my dad, too. My dad was watching the game at home. I said, I don't like this move, Ferguson. I don't like it at all. And he doesn't come through. His stuff, doesn't impress me, Christian, like you said. And, a guy like him, it's same thing. You're down a lot, you're up a lot. That's when you bring him in to get right. And I get, the bullpen is kind of depleted. Obviously, the injury to Jonathan Lasiga doesn't help, and they're kind of short down there. But he's just not the guy to go to. And it's not also like he's some elite reliever that's going through something. I mean, they got him from the Dodgers for basically nothing. Guy is over his 6 ERA on the year. So, everyone could call it nitpicking because I guess it is. Yankees won the series, but, to bring out that lineup and then just follow that up, it's just the moves we continue to see from Aaron Boone. And that's why, as fans, we get frustrated.
Yeah. And I get it's early. I I get I see the argument for we got to see where guys work and where guys don't, right, in April. But it kind of just seemed like a game that's close. We were in, we wanted to win. It was not the right move, and they still did it. So I didn't agree with it. I'm not going to overdo it with that. But look, Yanks still ended up taking two against the Rays. I mean, Blue Jays series, I don't really know if there's anything really to talk about. I feel like most of the conversations from the Jays series we kind of talk about later when we talk about the struggling Yankees, because I mean that was really, other than the last inning in the rubber game. I mean, it was just dead offensively. I mean, Bassett shut out the Yankees. Kikuchi again
Yeah.
held the Yankees bats silent. So, I mean, it was their first series loss of the year. First time the Yankees lost 3 in a row. First time the Yankees lost 2 in a row. But yeah, I mean, look, no one likes losing. I feel like there's more conversations later, though.
Yeah, I mean, look, the first two games of that series, the offense just wasn't there, and for some reason, Yusei Kikuchi just continues to dominate the Yankees. You know, I don't know why. You think the Yankees would be able to figure him out, but they just haven't been able to. And the Yankees, the funny thing is, they actually, when he was in Seattle and he made the All-Star team in 2021. And the Yankees crushed him. I think they faced him twice that year, destroyed him. And then I also think early on when he got to Toronto, the Yankees hit him as well. But the last 2 years, basically, they haven't been able to touch this guy, which is interesting there. But the offense just didn't show up. And then, game three, on the verge of being swept, you don't want to get swept, right? You don't want to lose 4 in a row. Yanks come through. They showed a lot of grit there. That's tough, but they came through. Stanton got it going with the home run. Torres single, Verdugo doubled, and just getting big hits when they count. And there was definitely some struggling players in that series, but I think that was a really, really important win for the Yankees early on, because you don't want to lose that momentum. And even if the Yankees got swept and they did win the series, it would be a losing week, right? So they finished the week 500, and that was definitely a big win. And I think it was Yanks Avenue. Dan Rourke commented, I think, on the Yankees Instagram page, and he said biggest win of the year. And I agree with him. I think as of now, in the very, very early going, I think that win in Toronto was definitely the biggest win of the season so far. And that's not saying, much, because we're so early on, but you don't want to get swept there. And, I was proud of the Yanks because they put their heads down, they got to work, and they were able to come through there and get some big hits. And Alex Verdugo, I mean, he's just gotten so many big hits lately,
Yeah.
and so many big hits for the Yankees this year. And he's really got the bat going for him.
Yeah, it was only a matter of time. He started off the season slow, but he also had a few big hits like Arizona, obviously the big 2-run home run, and now he's going. I mean, it's kind of like the player that Yankee fans dreamed of, just a lefty that just slaps balls, puts them in play, and works pitchers. So yeah, I mean he really had an awesome week. John Schneider got ejected. That was funny.
Oh yeah.
Ryan, we posted Ryan's reaction to the whole 9th inning. That made me laugh out loud a little bit.
Yeah.
Watching you watch him blow up, and
Yeah. Well, I called him like a beet. What did I call him? A tomato? Because
a beet red tomato. I don't know.
And and then I said he needs an oxygen tank after that rant. Yeah. I mean, hey, the Blue Jays get on my nerves. I was glad we were able to come through there. And if you enjoyed that reaction, that's really just the bare minimum of what I'm capable of. There's been some things on the Instagram page. I'm not. It's not healthy. Definitely my obsession with the Yankees is not normal by any means. But there's multiple rants on the Instagram page. Last year I thought I almost broke my hand because I punched a fridge. So that hurt. But yeah, I mean, there's awesome stuff and some cool reactions on there. Me and Christian have I guess, a tradition now, right? When the Yankees make the playoffs, we get the ginger ale
Yes.
and pretend like we're popping champagne. So there's a couple videos of that. And hopefully we'll be able to do that this year. Last year we weren't able to do that, but yeah. So the reactions, I like doing them. They're a lot of fun. But I was definitely glad the Yankees were able to pull off that win in Toronto, and then win the series at home. Soto, incredible, and then the guys today coming through with some big hits when they mattered. And Christian, someone who's really impressed and just another brilliant outing today is Luis Gil.
Yeah.
And now I'm taking a step back here because I'm like, all right, Luis Gil had a really good spring training. He's coming in here as the 5th starter. And Christian, has he been the best pitcher in the Yankees rotation this year? I mean, he has been really, really solid. Even that game in Toronto, game 1 against the Blue Jays, he was all over the place. His control was not good. He only gave up 3 runs in 5 innings. So, he's able to go out there. He's able to do a job. And I'm loving what I'm seeing from Luis Gil right now. And his fastball is just unbelievable. I mean, he's just blowing hitters away. I mean, he's like, here it is, hit it. And he's challenging them, and they just can't touch it. I mean, we're throwing up there 98 to 100 miles an hour as a starting pitcher. It's very, very impressive. And I'm absolutely loving what I'm seeing from Luis Gil right now.
Yeah, I love it so much because it's like we can perfectly profile him. I mean, he is just a young pitcher that has amazing stuff, and really all his struggles are just young pitcher things. Today, the one run that he only let up 2 hits, 9 strikeouts. The one run that scores is a guy that was on second with 2 outs, picks off, overthrows second, and then a balk from third to home. It's the only way the Rays were able to do anything against him. Pure just like inexperience, young pitcher things where it's like if he gets that under control and figures it out, which he will because he's a young pitcher and he's just going to continue to develop and get older, he's going to be amazing. I mean, his stuff is just so impressive, and that's why it almost hurts. Like against the Blue Jays when he walked 7 guys, and he walked 7 guys, pitched 5 innings, and still only let up 3 runs. You almost want to say to yourself, just throw right down the middle.
Yeah, and he struck out 6 too.
Yeah, this stuff is ridiculous. I mean, if he's throwing the ball over the plate, teams aren't going to hit him. I think he's only let up 8 hits.
8 hits and 4 starts.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's nasty.
That's nasty. And we're not just saying this. This isn't 2 Yankees fans just admiring pitcher who's made a few good starts and just saying he's the next Nolan Ryan or something like that. No, like this guy is legit. Like his stuff is that good. Like it is ace quality good. We're not just saying that. I mean, watch the tape. I mean, this guy's fastball, no one's touching it. It's just a 98, 99 BB down the middle. And if I'm Matt Blake and you can't locate, just throw it down the middle. They're not going to touch it. And I think Garrett Cole could be definitely someone that Luis Gil could lean on, and Garrett Cole could tell him, say, hey kid, just you're in a situation, you need to make a big pitch. Just challenge them, give them what they have, and Garrett Cole really has that mentality. And every once in a while, they'll take Garrett Cole deep. But, that ability in a big spot to trust your fastball and throw it right down the middle, say, here it is, hit it. It's really big, and it's a really important thing to have. And his stuff is no joke, and me and Christian aren't sitting up here saying, this guy's going to be, an ace or an all-star pitcher for years to come. But what we will say is that his stuff is no joke. I mean, it is that good, and it's good as advertised. Like, it is really, really good.
Yeah. I'll say this. I want him in the rotation when Cole comes back. I want a full season of him
Mm,
uh pitching in the big leagues. I don't want him to go to the minors to develop. I don't want him to go to the bullpen either because I think his stuff is great or just as good enough as a starter. So I understand that is kind of a problem because I mean, really, the Yankees rotation has been solid this year. There's no one that you're going to move out of there, but
yeah.
you do have a month or 2 months till Cole comes back. So things can change till then. But I want this guy. I want to see a full season of Luis Heel pitching with the Yankees. I want to see him continue to progress because, like, if he stopped walking guys, and I mean, he can become our best pitcher in the rotation. I
Yeah.
know you're saying, we're not making this guy out to be an ace or promising that, but if he got his control under control, I'll promise that. I mean, this
Mm,
guy's stuff is elite. That's the bottom
yeah.
line. And I don't know why. I have a bad feeling if the Yankees sent him down to the minors to work on things. I don't know why. I just feel like sometimes that happens and players get lost then in the
Mm,
system. And I don't want to see that happen. And he's pitching great in the big leagues. So obviously, there's time until Cole comes back. A lot of things can change. But as of right now, I just want to see more of Luis Heel. I mean, he is really, really impressed me.
yeah. I mean, I'm looking at his stat line today, and 2 hits, 9 Ks, career high.
Yeah.
But he definitely has the stuff to strike out upwards of 12 guys. Um, and I, like you said, Christian, I think it's just the control, and it's a very common problem for young pitchers. We see it all the time, and some guys aren't ever able to master their control, and that's ultimately why they end up going to the bullpen. But Christian, I mean, his stuff is really no joke. I'm very impressed with what I'm seeing, and to be that young and to be that fearless on the mound says a lot about his character too. I mean, he's going out there and he wants to beat you. He gets mad if he falters. He gets frustrated out there. But when he's thriving and he's having success, he's dialed in and he's locked and he's showing that energy. He's gonna pound his glove, off the mound. He's looked really, really good, and you got to give him credit being such a young kid, coming up in 2021, having a lot of success, and then kind of struggling in the minors in 2022. Makes one start, spot start for the Yankees. Comes out there. Yankees got the win that game. It was against Chicago. Didn't really pitch all that great, and then gets Tommy John. So has to sit out all the rest of 2022 and, didn't see him last year in 2023. So, it's really been almost like 3 years since this guy has really, been on the mound and got an extended run. And, I think that's kind of why he was forgotten about a little bit. But the way he's performed so far this year, you got to be really, really excited. You got to be really, really happy as a Yankee fan. And I just want to see more and more Luis Hill starts. And he's faced some good teams. He's not like going out there and
Yeah.
facing like some bad team. I mean, Tampa Bay Rays are a good team. He mowed down Arizona. He mowed them down when he pitched in Arizona. Didn't go that far in that game. And Toronto, they got a good lineup as well, and only gave up 3 runs. So, it's just the control. And that's the issue, right? If you don't have control, your pitch count's going to go higher by walking guys. But if he could fix that, he'll be able to go deeper into games. There won't be runners on base, and the strikeout totals will just go up. So, he is really, really close, and his stuff is that good.
Yeah, and the last thing I'd really say, it kind of goes along with the control. I think he just has to kind of get umpires out of his mind. We've seen him get visibly frustrated it's obvious with his body language. We've seen him get pretty frustrated with umps, and sometimes even it's not even justified. I mean, yeah, are there some bad umps? Yes, but um, it seems like he gets visibly shaken if he doesn't get a few calls. So, look, I mean, and I'm sure he knows this, but if he can just trust his stuff uh, and understand how good it is, he's going to be great. So yeah, I just want to see more Luis Heel. Um, let's talk about the kind of the elephant in the room.
Mm,
Struggling Yankees, the big one's Aaron Judge. I'll
mm.
start it off by saying this, Ryan. Are you at all concerned?
I mean, I think there's always going to be a part of you that's somewhat concerned. I would say this: I'm not losing sleep over it at night. I mean, the Yankees are still winning games. Um, I don't think it's become a detriment, right? But I mean, to go out on Saturday, struck out 4 times, was able to pick up a hit today. Um, I don't know. He doesn't look himself out. He doesn't look himself out there. Obviously he missed a lot of spring training, but you think he'd start to get it going soon. And you got to look to the back of the baseball card, right? I mean, this guy was on pace to break his home run record last year. He had 37 home runs in what, 110 games, 100 something games?
106, yeah.
106 games, hit 37 home runs. The year before hit 62 home runs, and then the year before that hit 39. So he's that good of a hitter. He's made the All-Star team the last 3 years. You don't just see these guys fall off the face of the earth. And I was talking to my dad about this yesterday, Christian. We were on the phone with each other, and we were talking about the Yankees. And I actually was the one to remind him. Derek Jeter in 2004 got off to a terrible start. He was batting like 200, under 200, I think, in the beginning of May. And, fans were booing him, same way they booed Judge on Saturday. And Jeter was able to still put together a very good year. I think he batted just under 300. Look, I mean, slumps happen, even to the best hitters, and they're going to have extended slumps. I mean, this game's really, really hard. I think there's a part of you that definitely has the right to be concerned because the injuries, who knows what's going on, right? But I think ultimately you got to look at the back of his baseball card and you got to trust him because he's your best player, and you could definitely argue he's the best player in baseball, right? So you have to be able to trust him. Otherwise, what are we doing here? I mean, if you can't trust Aaron Judge being able to get out of a slump, then you can't really trust anyone to be able to get out of a slump. And we've seen this with Aaron Judge before. When he goes in these bad slumps, the strikeouts pile up. I mean, he doesn't just put balls in play or just hits balls second base or whatever. The strikeouts do pile up. Even in, I think, 2022, Christian, when he hit 62 home runs, I still believe there was a period where he struck out 8 times in a row or something like that. So the strikeouts do go up when Judge is struggling, but I think you just got to put faith in your best player.
Yeah. I mean, I think any Yankee fan would be lying if they said that they're 100% confident, right? Maybe 99, but I think we can all come to the consensus that it's way too early to start having real concerns about this guy. I do, in the back of my mind, do I wonder if the toe is that an issue at all? I hope not. To be honest, it really just seems uh kind of like a timing issue. I mean, it seems like
Yeah.
he's really just not picking up pitches uh out of the pitcher's hand. I mean, I think it was maybe Saturday or Friday where no, Saturday where it was
Yeah.
just slider, slider, slider,
Yeah.
and he just could not lay off it.
Yeah.
And with multiple pitchers, he just couldn't pick it up. It was just waving at the same pitch over and over. And then he even got a hanging slider down the middle that he just fouled off. And, I mean, that's honestly the biggest tell that he's not right. I mean, when he's on, he doesn't miss those pitches.
Yeah.
But when he's off, like now, I mean, nothing's really going. So it's not what you want. We don't think of Aaron Judge like a Giancarlo Stanton, where he's either red hot or red cold, or I guess ice
Ice
cold.
cold, yeah, ice cold.
But I mean, he's played in 21 games. It's too early to start getting worried. I was kind of hoping that hit against Toronto would get him going, because that was huge and that should not get overlooked. I mean, that probably won the Yankees that game right there. And there's also something to be said for, I mean, look, I mean, he's still the captain. He's still carrying himself the same way. I think Michael Kay said this. He's carrying himself the same way as he did in 2022 when he was on pace and then eventually did break the home run record. So it sucks that this is happening. I know it'd be awesome right now if Judge and Soto were going, but I mean, hey, that's why the Yankees went out and got Juan Soto. So it wouldn't all just be on Aaron Judge. And now we can just dream, as soon as Aaron Judge starts to get going, it's going to be an unstoppable duo. Yes. So, I mean, look, it sucks, but it's how his season has started. I don't know. I don't really have anything else to say about it.
Yeah, I mean, you just gotta, hope at some point he'll figure it out, which I think if you looked at his track record, the signs would point to he will be able to do that. But like you said, it's 21 games, and he's struggling. And a lot of players, struggled to start the season, and he did miss, basically most of spring training, right? So, look, it could just be a timing thing, and, still looks good in the field out there. But, just got to hope he'll figure it out at some point. And once he does, it will be pretty instantaneous. Is that how you say it? Yeah. I mean, once he gets a 2-homer game under his belt, all right, we'll be like, all right, here he goes. And, he's the potential to hit 4, 5 home runs in a week. And the Yankees go 6-1 or 7-0. It's put the team on his back, right? So, we have yet to see that, but we are only in April. It's April 21st, not even in May yet. So we got to give him some time, and just wait and see till he breaks out of it. There's some other guys though that are struggling. One guy is definitely Austin Wells, who's not looked good at all this year. I think he's batting under 100. He just hasn't looked good at the plate, which I'm a little surprised with because, I get he's a catcher and, I get all that, but I mean, he really started to heat up at the end of last season. I still think at some point Austin Wells will be able to, hit and give the Yankees success at the big league level this season. I do have high expectations for him, and I even heard some comments of people saying, send Austin Wells down. No, you have to give the kid an extended run. And if he struggles, you can't just send him down. I mean, it's not like the Yankees really even have a catcher that could, come up and do that. So you got to give him an extended run, but I don't know. He just hasn't gotten it done.
Yeah. I hate to do this, and we do this. I don't know if we've really ever done this, but his expected stats are good. His expected batting average is 241. I mean, his baseball savant page, you look at it and you'd think, wow, this guy is, he must be having a good season, but no. And I do think that's a case where you can, look at his, how many, 15 games or I guess 13 games and say, maybe it's too early to judge this guy because especially, I mean, this early into the season, results can be flawed. So
yes,
while he hasn't looked great, he has gotten a little unlucky, and I do think it's only a matter of time till results do start coming around and this guy pieces it together. because, I mean, this guy mashed in the minors. He's come up. He's only played 15 games, and his expected stats are good. So
Yeah.
I'm not one to really lean into those, but, I mean, this is kind of a case where I can't ignore it, and I really think he's going to be fine. On Anthony Volpe, he's had his first slump, and this is why I was saying don't bat him leadoff, because now it's a whole conversation. Does he get moved out? Do we keep him there? But Yankees put themselves in that situation where I feel like now you have to keep him at leadoff, or else then, like, what were you doing? I mean, it was only bound. He wasn't going to hit 400. So Anthony Volpe, I can't ignore what he did to start the season. He does look like a different hitter from last year. But yeah, I mean, this past week, even 2 weeks, haven't been great for him.
No, hasn't. But this guy was batting like 456 or something the first couple weeks into the season. Who knows? The timing of it just could be really bad. But me and you both talked about this, but look, I'm just gonna say it's a slump. This is why the Yankees upgraded their lineup. So when some players are hot, and when the lineup's not firing on all cylinders, they'll still be able to score runs. When some guys are cold, other guys will be hot, and vice versa. And then when they're all hot, that's when you're going to see those extended winning streaks, right? I'm just going to say it's a slump. Timing of it could be funky, but who knows? I really, if we look at it now, I mean, I don't know what other options the Yankees have at leadoff. Maybe Alex Verdugo. Yeah. I mean, he's been swinging the bat well, so you could go to him, and I wouldn't mind that, to be honest with you. But I don't know. And then it gets into two lefties to start the lineup, and then it's like, do you want to put Judge in the 2-hole? But then you don't want to mess up with Soto's doing. I mean, they're all like, you don't want to do this and then mess this guy up. I mean, baseball is so like, you don't want to touch anything. You want to leave it. Yeah. Let it take care of itself. Could just be a slump, but I mean, Christian, I think the guy I'm most concerned about.
Yep.
And I think everyone knows the guy I'm most concerned about in the lineup is not Aaron Judge. It's not Austin Wells. It's not Anthony Volpe. It's Gleyber Torres, Christian. What is going on? I mean, this guy, I don't know what we're supposed to do with this guy. I mean, is this guy going to have a really good season and then have a really horrible season, then have a really, this guy is so good, right? He came up his rookie year, whatever, really good. 2019 hit 38 homers, 39?
Yeah.
Something like that. Juice ball era, whatever. He was still that young, was able to do that. And then 2021, bad. 2022, yeah. And then 2023 was actually had a decent year, right? I don't know. The defense in the infield doesn't look that great. We've seen that problem before. I think the most concerning thing is hasn't been able to hit a home run yet, right? He's not driving the ball. And I think he is up there with players with the most at-bats that hasn't hit a home run yet this season. He's in a contract year. He's got to be a little antsy, right? I mean, he wants to get paid. Has a really bad year this year. His market's going to go way down because we saw this free agency. Teams aren't going to just hand out whatever you want. I mean, we saw, Blake Snell and Montgomery, two really, really good players. Blake Snell won the Cy Young, didn't get signed until late February, right? So yeah. He's not just going to get what he wants. I think you got to be really concerned with Gleyber Torres. And Christian, to be honest with you, I don't know if I hit it just yet because we are April, but my hand, I'm touching the panic button, right? My fingers are touching the panic button. I didn't press it yet, but they are touching the panic button, and I'm very concerned with Gleyber Torres.
No panic button for me, Ryan, because my hands are kind of off with this guy. This is our last year with him. It's not like we're tied up. Look, if he was struggling last year, it wouldn't matter. he's just going to get as much run as possible. If this continues, this is the last year with the Yankees. I think they can just go hands off and say, Oswaldo Cabrera, you're our second baseman. Tough for Gleyber Torres. And they're not going to do that yet because, again, it's still early. But if this continues and DJ comes back, Oswaldo Cabrera is our second baseman. It's not a question.
Or DJ.
And yeah, I guess you keep Oswaldo at third, really, however you want to align that. But I could even see a trade possibly at the deadline. I mean, that's been rumored for so long, but if we get there, and I get you're not getting a lot of value, obviously, but if we're there and we're comfortable enough with Oswaldo and DJ in our infield, say goodbye to Torres. So it feels a little early to have those conversations, but when you have this bad of a start to a season, it's kind of warranted. I mean, he's been terrible at the plate. His expected stats suck. He's been terrible in the field. Nothing going for him. Nothing going for Gleyber Torres. And I think it's kind of the one guy that's struggling where we can actually have like legitimate concerns, and there's also like moves that can happen, right? Volpe's going to be our shortstop for the rest of the season. Aaron Judge is our captain. He's our right fielder. Austin Wells is going to platoon with Jose Trevino. Gleyber Torres, it's his final year with the Yankees. If he continues to struggle for another month, as Waldo keeps hitting, I mean, it's kind of just that's it. That's the end of Gleyber Torres and the Yankees. So it does kind of feel a little early to be saying that, but I don't regret it. I mean, it's kind of the situation.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think anyone could sit here right now and say, I expect Gleyber Torres to be back with the Yankees next season. I mean, even if he did get off to a hot start, the Yankees have just shown no interest in that. And I think the most frustrating thing is it just doesn't make sense. I mean, he was so good, and then he was so bad, and then really the last couple of years started to turn things around. I mean, I don't think anyone expected him to ever go back to 2019, but he was becoming a very solid, second baseman in the league. I'd definitely say top 10 second baseman in the league. He was starting to turn things around, and just this year hasn't been able to get it done. It's very concerning. And then you see the things in the field with Gleyber Torres and the booted balls, dropping balls, trying to turn a double play. He brings it out on the field. I don't know what the Yankees do. I mean, I could see a trade happening potentially with Gleyber, and it's unfortunate to see. I just hope at some point he'll be able to get it going for the Yankees, and I think the Yankees, even though they weren't totally, I guess, interested in re-signing Gleyber, they have a lot of money on their payroll. They want to bring back Juan Soto. Maybe they just thought, hey, it's not worth it. I mean, the guy's not like an all-star every year. Maybe it's just not worth it to bring him back.
Yeah.
Right. But I think the Yankees definitely expected Gleyber Torres to be, one of the guys in the middle of the lineup for the Yankees that really produced, because, I mean, he was really, outside of Judge, the Yankees' best hitter and most consistent hitter last season. And I think the Yankees expected him to really thrive in the middle of the order there and, come through in a lot of RBI situations. I'm very concerned. All I can really say is that he's able to turn around, but I don't know what else I'm supposed to say.
Yeah, it would suck if this is really how his Yankee career ended, with him kind of just fading and losing the second base job. But I mean, look, it's his last year. Yankees aren't tied up to him. Could happen. I hope it doesn't. I hope he turns it around.
Me too.
Let's look at next week. Kind of light to start the week. 4 games against the Athletics. Give me another series win, please. Even a sweep.
We're in the Bronx, Christian.
Yeah. I mean, I'll even say sweep. I mean, Athletics are a minor league team.
Yeah, you have no business.
Maybe even a double-A team. The Yankees should stomp all over them.
Yes. I mean, the Yankees swept them in the Bronx last season. Aaron Hicks popped a home run in the second deck. Yeah, you have no business losing to them. You can't argue it. It's you have to go out there and beat them, and I don't really care if that puts pressure on them, saying, "Oh, we have to beat these guys." You got to. I mean, the Yankees' payroll has like more money than God. Like God can't afford to put that team on the field, but the Yankees can. The Athletics, this team's pay. What's their payroll? Like 40. If you want to look it up, Christian, what is it? Like $48 million. Aaron Judge is getting paid $40 million a season.
Let's see. Athletics payroll. They're not going to give it to me. Active pay $41 million.
Aaron Judge is making $40 million. The Yankees have almost one guy making more money than their whole entire team. I don't know. You tell me to name 5 Athletics players. I'll start with J.P. Sears. I don't know. We'll be seeing J.P. Sears again. I saw him in the probables. Look, I know the Athletics got some sneaky hitters in there, some weird guys. Their lineup is able to score some runs. Brent Rooker, right? Who's the other guy? Their first baseman, Ryan Noda, who gets on base a lot. I think that's his name.
I couldn't tell you a thing about the Athletics.
I don't know, but you're at home. You really have no business losing to the Athletics. I mean, you got Juan Soto, Aaron Judge on the same team. The Yankees are better in every aspect of the game. Now, it is baseball, and you have to understand that. It's possible the Yankees go out there and drop a game. 4-game series. It's really tough to sweep a 4-game series. It is baseball. Anyone can beat anyone, right? But the Yankees do have to at least win 3 out of 4. And anything other than 3 out of 4 would be an embarrassment. And if I was the manager, that'd be a rip to my players in the clubhouse. Because you got to take care of business. These teams are on the schedule. You have to beat the bad teams. You have to. And the Yankees are better in all facets, and they have to go out there and beat the Athletics.
Yeah, and they should. And then they go to Milwaukee, and they face a major league team, the Brewers, who have been great this year. They're hitting top 5 in baseball, pitching borderline top 5 in baseball. It's going to be a tough matchup. The Brewers are a good team. Also, I mean, look at that. I'm just looking at the standings. The Guardians, oh my gosh. I mean, other than the Yankees, they're 16-6. 2 of their losses came to the Yankees.
Yeah, and we almost swept them if it wasn't for Caleb Ferguson.
Yeah, exactly.
But the Yankees dominated Cleveland series. I don't know. I mean, the Yankees have obviously had a lot of success the last decade against Cleveland, and they always seem to play well against the Guardians. I don't know, but I mean, the Guardians, that division is ass. So, if I'm a Guardians fan, I'm saying, look, we should win this division. Guardians are good. Milwaukee, I think a lot of people don't talk about this enough. I mean, look, Milwaukee hasn't, made it to a World Series, right? Excuse me, in the last decade. But they've been right in it every year for a while now. I mean, they've been in it every year. And Christian Yelich, definitely bounced back. And some former Yankees, Christian, Gary Sanchez, and Jake Bauers going to be facing them. So, it's going to be 2 really good teams going at it. It's in Milwaukee, correct?
In Milwaukee, yep. In
Milwaukee. And Yankees haven't played in Milwaukee since 2022. So we're going to be heading back there to Milwaukee and got to get the job done against the Brewers. But I'm definitely amped for that series. Brew Crew has a really good team. They got a really good bullpen. Really good closer out there. But yeah, hopefully you just come out there and beat the Athletics, come into Milwaukee feeling good, have some nice cheese, and, beat the Brew Crew.
Yeah. Good week of Yankees baseball. 2 tough teams. Yankees handled business enough despite some of the struggles. Next week should be pretty light. Give me 5-2.
5-2.
5-2.
5-2. I'm gonna go for the sweep, and then the series wins. So I'm gonna one up you, and I'm gonna go 6-1 next week.
All right, I'm gonna change it. I'm gonna go 7-0.
You're gonna,
yeah.
Christian, I love you. That's how you got to do it. I mean, that fires me up. I'm a player. I'm fired up right now.
Yeah.
Like on Saturday, I'm sitting in left field and I saw Caleb Ferguson coming in. I'm not believing in you, Christian, as my manager. But now I'm all back in. I'm back in because I'm buying back in. 7-0. Yankees go 7-0. I mean, woo! I mean, that would basically close off April. And the Mets are hot. I don't like that. Mets are hot. Mets what? Did they win today? I don't know. They were a 6-game winning streak.
I don't know. They're doing good. They're doing good.
Yeah, they are doing good. So, we're doing good too. We got a better record. But I want to go on a winning streak. Yeah. I think our longest winning streak's what? 4 games? 5 games? 5 games? Yeah, 5 games. I'll take a little what? It'd be an 8-game winning streak because we won today. I like that. Look, the Athletics, tomorrow's game also, I should point out, is at 1:05. I don't know. There's some weird start times this year. Monday, 1:05. Like I think I said this last live stream, tickets are dirt cheap. I bet they're even cheaper now.
Yeah,
I mean,
probably go for like $10.
Yeah, the Oakland Athletics at 1:00. I mean, really, if you have nothing to do tomorrow, maybe you're just like light day at work or whatever. Maybe you're like me and Christian, senior in high school, kind of just going through the motions at this point. Seriously consider going to the game because tickets are really, really cheap. And I get, you're not seeing many superstars over there for Oakland. But, hey, yeah, I mean, you get to see Juan Soto for Christian said for $10. I mean, sign me up. I will be going to the game on Tuesday. So Marcus Stroman's on the mound for that. So I'm excited for that. But yeah, definitely consider going to the game tomorrow. Yeah, I don't know. I might sign myself out of school, Christian. I want to watch the game.
If I didn't have baseball, I think that's a no-brainer.
Yeah,
$10 Yankee tickets. Come on.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, honestly, just going out there, Yankee Stadium, get some good food. I mean, I was seriously looking. The tickets were so cheap, but I don't know. There's been a lot of weird start times in baseball this year. I have liked Christian. I don't know if you picked up on this. The getaway games, like the one against Arizona, like because the Yankees had to fly out the next day. Like it was at like 3:00, and the one in Toronto at 3:00. I like those. I don't know. There's like a game against the Astros that I'm going to in May, and the game starts at 5:05 on Thursday.
Ooh, that's weird.
That is a bizarre one. And then a really rare one. You get this one late in the year. Usually, you get the 4:05 in the Bronx. That's always a fun one. And then they start the game with the shadows overhead. I don't know, weird start times, but we got 4 games against the A's, 3 games against the Brewers, and a lot should happen. I mean, look at this week. So much happened, and probably a lot more will happen, as the week goes on. Should get some DJ LeMahieu updates. Looks like he's going to play a rehab game for Somerset, but I don't know because it's really the Yankees, and I heard the doctors said DJ's not ready to play in minor league games. So, I mean, who knows? We could find out that, DJ LeMahieu, like, I don't know. Is out.
Good luck trying to read the Yankees. Yankees would be like the best poker players ever.
Oh, man, they really would. I mean, they really would. You never know. You never know with them. But yeah, I mean, Christian, that's basically all I got. 3-3 in the week, and I'll take it. 2 tough teams, and I'll take it. I'm gonna be more greedy this week, but I'll take it. And yeah, it's really all I got.
Yeah, Thank you for listening.
Yeah, thank you for spending your Sunday night with us. Maybe you'll tune in. It's playoff stuff, basketball, hockey, Sunday night baseball
Yeah,
as
a lot of
well.
New York stuff. Yankees
A
have the
lot of
game
a
Saturday.
lot of sports going on. Let's go Knicks to the finals. I do like the Devils, so I don't really care about the Rangers and the Islanders. But I am pulling hard for the Knicks. Christian, this could be the Knicks' year. I really like their team. I got to be honest with you. I mean, they are really just one star away from being unquestionably finals champions. I mean, they got an amazing coach. I think they got the best bench in basketball, and Jalen Brunson is a star. They're missing Randall. Embiid, obviously, we saw what he did last night. He's a little banged up, but I'm telling you, Christian, I mean, the Celtics really good team, but I definitely could see the Knicks going far in the East. Wouldn't ultimately be surprised if they pulled something off and got into the finals. So there's a lot of stuff going on, a lot of sports to watch. It's a good time. The weather's getting nicer here in the East Coast. It's just beautiful. But, that's really all we got covering Yanks. And, thank you for spending your Sunday with us. And we'll see you next week.
Peace.
Peace.